So here we go, guys. I've finally got my review of the Call of Duty campaign up and running, and here it is. Very impressed, to put it simply. I've always been a big fan of the Call of Duty franchise, and this one does not let you down at all. Obviously, the previous title wasn't the most popular, and I don't think it really stood up in the franchise as being one of the best, but I think with this they've certainly redeemed themselves. I mainly focus on the campaign to start with, just while I'm getting used to the game. I think it teaches you a lot of the basics, teaches you a lot of the physics, how the guns work, how you work, and I think it's a really good way of preparing you for the online, which I know is obviously the most popular aspect of the game. But as far as campaign modes go, I would say this is probably, well, I would go out and say that it's the best campaign that I can remember playing on a Call of Duty game. On the screen, like you see, this is your campaign screen. It's a map of Northern Europe, obviously representing where the majority of the war took place. And your starting mission is D-Day. I'm going to try and not give too much away about the missions. I'm not here to spoil it for anybody, I'm not here to sort of give anything away, just to try and show you how the campaign works and obviously my opinion on it. So you start with the D-Day mission, which on the screen, which I also find a really good feature, is it shows you, with using the arrow coming across the channel, exactly the mission that you're going to be doing, basically. So you see the white of England is sort of the territory that hasn't been taken by the Nazis, and anything covered red is Nazi territory. So as you progress through the missions, as you can see onto the second mission there, it does take a little chunk of that red off, which progresses the further you go on. What you'll also notice at the bottom, where the missions are, is that they are in date order, and the missions do progress in a full story, in a full movement across Northern Europe. So as you can see, the further you progress through, the more you retake back off the Nazis, which obviously is the way the war went. So yeah, so I love this whole visual representation of where you're up to in the story and how things progress in your way. I think that's a really good touch. It really adds to the visual effect of the game, and yeah, how cool the campaign mode is. Now the main story follows your character, which is Ronald Red Daniels. Now, it's basically a story told from his point of view, about the war for him, how he sees it, and how he feels during the different missions. You do occasionally get to play as a couple of different characters. Again, I'm not going to give too much away, but yeah, you do get a sort of a variance on who you play as. You also get the opportunity to drive and control different vehicles, which I think is a really cool touch. Plenty of variation rather than just charging through standard sort of Call of Duty campaigns that we may have seen in the past. So I think it's such a really varied campaign. A bit of everything in there, a bit of stealth, a bit of all guns blazing, a bit of tactical, different vehicles, different characters. All in all, a very good, varied campaign mode, which I find absolutely enthralling and really enjoyed it so far. Now, another really good aspect of it is what I'm showing you on screen now, is the cutscenes. Again, although the little captions that you hear, which is Daniel's talking in between missions, he tells a story, but you also get these cutscenes, which, as you can see, are absolutely fantastic. The visuals on them are great, and they just help fill in some of the gaps that maybe don't get told in the little mission briefing, in the little mission intros. Again, I just think this is a really cool touch, really adds to it, really gets you involved in the story, really makes you feel like you're involved with the characters, which to me is sort of one of the biggest aspects of a decent story mode. It gets you feeling you're a part of it, like you're the character you're playing, and like you're making the friends that they're making. And it does the job really well. It ticks all those boxes, and it really does tell a good story. Now, like I say, I don't want to give any spoilers, I don't want to give too much away. I just wanted to show you a bit of gameplay as well, just so you can see that it is, you know, good campaign. It's a really good looking game. Again, sort of sometimes the Call of Duty franchise has been criticised for looking a little bit cartoony, not necessarily being the most realistic. You know, maybe it is still guilty of some of that to an extent. But me personally, I think it's a fantastic looking game. The graphics are more than adequate, you know, perfectly enjoyable and realistic enough. As you can see from what I'm doing here, I'm not the best at the game. Never have been, and probably never will be. But even for me, I play the campaign on the regular difficulty, which is the second difficulty. It's still quite a challenging game. Like I say, I'm not the best player, but it is still a good challenging campaign mode. I know people that would normally play sort of on the harder levels, who have struggled on the harder levels when they've been doing their playthroughs. So it does seem like it's a little bit more challenging than what they may have been in the past, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. Something else to note, that the missions are quite long, which again isn't necessarily a bad thing, because one, you know, if you just absolutely race through it and you're in it for a few hours and that's it, sometimes I feel a little bit robbed, where it just sort of pushes you online and makes you get on with it. Which is that's what you're buying the game for, and that's fine. But I do think a good campaign mode to back up the online is really handy, and it really serves this game well. Now I'm just going to let some of the gameplay run out. Point out a couple of features to you on the screen. Down the right hand side you'll see you've got 3 different officers' names there. You've got one who will provide you with a smoke grenade to call in like an airstrike. You've got Pearson, who will point out where the enemies are to you. Now I am going to try and show you these as we're going through. And you've got Zussman, who will give you a medipack as and when you need it, but the circles have to be full and sort of pulsing for them to be available. Again, it's just a really nice little feature, pretty cool, handy at times, believe me. So as you can see, if I press E up, he will throw me a medipack, and that goes into my storage. You can only hold 4. Get Pearson here now to point the enemies out. Now you see how they've got like a wide glow. It's just sort of a bit handy if you're struggling to sort of find who you're after. You know, it's a really useful bit of tools. Oh. Like I say, guys, I'm really not the best at this game, but yeah, it's the pointing out the enemy is a really handy tool. Comes in useful a lot of the time. The medipacks are really useful to be able to top those up. And like I say, all in all, very impressed. Really enjoyed the game, really enjoyed the campaign mode, nice and challenging. It's cool to use the different weapons, it's good to be involved in the story. I love the front map that shows you your progression as you're going through, and the story itself is a really interesting, fun story, which I think everybody will enjoy. If you enjoy your sort of World War II history, you know, it's a really interesting take on it. It's really interesting to play through it and be involved in it. If you're not sort of that much into your history, it's still a really good story, still a really good campaign that I think most people will enjoy. So all in all, I am very impressed. If you're looking to buy the game, I would absolutely recommend it. As soon as you can, go out and get it now. And if you're not really looking to buy the game and you're just sort of curious, then I would say it's definitely worth consideration. Whether you ask Father Christmas to put it in your stocking, whether you ask a loved one to give you a nice little treat, however you go about it, definitely make sure this game ends up in your collection. Well worth it, and I honestly don't think you'll regret it. So I'm just going to let this play out now. What I'm doing here, without sort of probably worth explaining while I'm gyrated against that car, is you get these heroic actions throughout the story as well, where it's a little opportunity to step in and help somebody or save somebody. You get little bonuses for that, which again I think is a really cool little feature. It's full of them. What a game. What a game. Definitely worth getting. Now, I am going to follow this up with an online review as well, which I will post the link to once that's available. In the meantime, if you do want to go and check out my other videos, drop a like on this one if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get notified of when the new videos are available. Go follow me on Twitter, get in touch, say hello, let me know who you are, where you're from, and hope you all enjoyed it, and see you again soon.